August market update for the Villages, Florida. Let's dive in. It is the middle of August, so we are on August 14th, 2026, and we're kind of hitting a little bit of a slowdown. I'm not surprised. It's August. This is when things kind of pull back a little bit in the Villages. This is our slower season, but we've had a really good run for the last few months, and even recently jumping into August, the very beginning, we were seeing consistently last about 10 weeks more things going pending, more homes pending than coming on the market, and more homes selling than coming on the market. So I'll give you the grand picture and then some bite size so you can kind of see what's going on. So right now we have 499 homes on the market on the MLS in the Villages, Florida. And we have about 206 that are pending, so they're under contract. So kind of a good number. That's actually really cool because inventory is down. I have to take a peek again at our sold. So right now, yeah, we're at 1209 in the last 180 days that have sold. Now, the cool thing is when the very beginning of August, a couple weeks ago, when I looked at the report, it really was showing that if you looked at the last 30 days, so things that came on the market in the last 30 days, we were at 139. So 139 came active in 30 days, and 169 actually sold. So more homes were selling than what were actually coming on, which was great. And that was the pattern that we were seeing for quite some time. This week it did pull back. So if you looked at just the 7-day numbers, not the 30-day, but the 7, we had, I just pulled them up, 49 that came live in the last 7 days, 46 that went under contract in the last 7 days, and 39 sold. So a little bit of a slowdown, a little bit more quiet, but again, that's kind of normal for the Villages. Cool thing is we're actually up 13.35% of sales from where we were last year. And this June and July, we actually had the strongest months, strongest June and strongest July since 2022. So we're not counting 2021. Obviously those numbers were kind of crazy. We haven't topped those numbers yet. But in June of this last June, 2026, we hit 236 homes sold on the MLS, and July we were at 196. So August is still up for determination. We're at 65 sold so far, but it definitely has been an interesting market. And I'll say this, if you are a seller, it's definitely not time to be lazy, not that you are, but you want to make sure that your home is presented properly. There is less inventory, so some sellers know that, and they're thinking there's not as much competition, as opposed to a few months ago we were sitting at 720 homes on the market. Right now we're at 499. So great number for anyone listing. We're at like 3 months of inventory, but you still have to be game on. You still have to really be presenting your home, nicely, beautifully, have it updated as much as you can. There's always different ways that you can play around. Maybe your roof is older and you want to do a credit for your seller, you can't, or your buyer, you can't afford the upfront costs. There's lots of ways to get creative with that, but just know that there's still a lot of competition, and as a buyer, just know that there is a smaller pool right now. So if you were looking at homes last year, you probably saw a little more inventory to play around with. Who knows, maybe in a couple of months when our season kicks in, December, January, February, we're gonna see some more inventory. But right now, it's definitely, time to be looking at the numbers, tracking what's going on, knowing that it's not 2025, where the market was definitely more in a buyer's favor. We've kind of turned around a little bit, at least in the Villages. We're sitting at like 98.7% of asking price in August. which is pretty good for our sellers. So lots of different ways to look at it. And of course, if you are thinking of buying or selling, please reach out, because it's going to depend on what you're looking for or what you're selling, your neighborhood, that style home, that model home. For instance, if you are looking at pool homes, there's about 44 pool homes in the Villages. The average days on market for homes in the Villages is like 72 days. For pool homes, it's sitting around 45 days on market. So a little bit different. So it's going to depend, again, the neighborhood, the style home, kind of what you're looking at. So I will put my information in the description. I would love to connect and see how I can help you with your real estate goals. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Have an amazing day, and we'll talk soon.